Welcome to the class. The first thing you need to do is you need to log in to the website. So you need to go to a plus students.com. Okay. So once you're on the website, since this is a math class, you need to select math as the subject. Okay. Once you're done with that, you need to select your grade. Your grade is grade 4. Okay. So let's look at the topic for today. The topic for today is topic for today is multiplication. Okay. And the topic number is, the chapter number is 9. Okay, I'll write down chapter number 9, okay, to make it easier for you. So the chapter number is 9. Okay. So once we are in, let's go to the website. We are in chapter number 9 for grade 4s. We go to the lessons, and the name of the lesson is, okay, I'll give you the lesson name, multiply lesson, and the name of the lesson is multiply 3 numbers up to 2 digits. That means 2 digits numbers are there, up to 2 digits numbers each. And the lesson number that we are doing today is 16. Okay, so we need to click onto lesson number 16. So I hope you have logged into the website. Math, grade 4. The topic is multiplication, chapter number 9, lesson number 16. And the name of the lesson is multiply 3 numbers up to 2 digits each. So let's look at the first option. The first question says multiply 10 multiply by 3 multiply by 10. What you need to remember in multiplication is the order does not matter. Welcome to the class. We are doing multiplication. Multiply 3 numbers, which can be up to 2 digits each, right? So in this case, we have 3 numbers, 10 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 10, in which 2 numbers are 2-digit numbers, right? So what we can do is, we can do this question multiple ways because we have a number ending in a 0. So what we can say is, we can multiply 3 multiplied by 10 is 3 multiplied by 10 is 30, which is multiplied by 10. And we know the rule for the numbers ending by 0. So what all we need to do is, we multiply 3 by 1. That means 3 multiplied by 1, we multiply. And we need to remember the number of zeros over here. How many zeros we have? We have 2 zeros, right? So all we can do is 3 multiplied by 1 was 3. And we simply add 2 zeros to it. That means 10 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 10 would come out to be 300. And this is our answer. Okay. Let's try another example. When we go to the next question says, question number 2 says multiply. In this question, there are single digit numbers. 6 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 7. Okay. So we can do this question in any other way also. First, we'll try the regular way, then we'll look at the other possibilities for this question. Okay. So if we multiply the first 2 numbers together, 6 multiplied by 2 is 12 is multiplied by 7, right? And we know that 12 multiplied by 7 is, can anyone give me the answer? What is 12 multiplied by 7? See, we can do it like that. We can say 7 multiplied by 10 is 70. 7 multiplied by 11 is 77. And 7 multiplied by 12 is 84. So we can say the answer comes out to be 84. This is our answer. But if we would want to see how to do the same question a little differently, right? So what we can do is we can multiply these two numbers together also. That means 6 is multiplied by 14. So in multiplication, the order will not matter, but we have to multiply all three numbers together. And we know that 6 multiplied by 14 is also 84. And that is still the same answer. Okay. So we need to keep this in mind, that changing the order in multiplication would not change the answer, even if it's 2-digit number or a 3-digit number. Moving on to the next question, question number 3. What we can see is they're asking us to multiply 6 multiplied by 7 multiplied by 5. They're asking us to solve this. Okay. So if we multiply 6 multiplied by 7, the answer should be, what should be the answer? 6 times 7 is 42. And when we multiply, 42 multiplied by 5 is 210. This would be our answer. Let's see if it would make any difference if we change the order of the numbers. If we say that this was 6 multiplied by 7 multiplied by 5, if we write this as 5 multiplied by 6 multiplied by 7, if we try to change the order, right? So can we say that 5 multiplied by 6 is 30 multiplied by 7, and this is the number that has a 0 next to it. So 3 multiplied by 7 is 21, and we bring down the 0 as it is because there is 1 0. So we still have the same answer, 210. So multiplication in change of order in multiplication does not affect the answer. Do we agree? Yes. Thank you. Thank you for the answer. Okay, let's move on to the next one. The next question says, I'll just copy the question and then we'll move on together. It says, multiply 1 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 5. We know that 1 multiplied by 3 is 3. Multiplied by 5 would be 3 multiplied by 5 is 15, right? And 15 is the answer. Can we try by changing the sequence? If I say 1 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 3, the same numbers, but the sequence of the numbers has changed. I have the first number is 1, but 5 was end, I bring it in the middle. So can we say that 1 multiplied by 5 was 5 multiplied by 3, and it still stays as 15. So what we can say is the order of multiplication does not affect the answer. We can change the order of the multiplication. Okay? Yes, thank you. Thank you for agreeing. Let's try the next question. Okay, question number 5. It says, multiply 7 multiply by 3, multiply by 5. 7 times 3 is 21. Multiply by 5. What is 21 multiplied by 5? Can anyone give the answer? Please help me out with this. Okay, let's see what the answer is. 21 multiplied by 5 is 105. 105. Okay, so this is our answer. And if we change the order, if we say that this is 5 multiplied by 7 multiplied by 3, we are not changing the numbers, we are just changing the order. So can we say 5 multiplied by 7 is 35 multiplied by 3, it would still come out to be 105 because the answer does not change even if the order of multiplication has been changed. Agreed? Let's look at the next question, question number 6. And they're asking us to multiply. Okay, the next question on the website is, you have it on your screen also, right? So we can always do, if 10 is multiplied by 1 is multiplied by 5, or 1 is multiplied by 5 is multiplied by 10. We can really see both the options, right? Or it can also begin with 5 multiplied by 1 multiplied by 10. Any sequence. It can be any sequence, right? So let's look at the next question. 1 multiplied by 10 is 10. Because 1 multiplied by 1 was 1 and there was 1 0, we put a 0. 10 multiplied by 5 is 1 multiplied by 5 is 5. There was a single 0, we copy it as it is, and the answer was 50. Let's look over here. 1 multiplied by 5 is 5 multiplied by 10. So you already know that multiplying by a number ending on 0 means we count the number of zeros, there is a single 0, that means 5 multiplied by 1 is 5, and we simply write a 0 next to it. That means it's still the same answer. Agreed? It's still the same answer, okay? The next question, question number 7. Let's try question number 7. Okay, the next question says, okay, we look at the next question that says 2 multiply. See, it would not make any difference if it's written as 2 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 5, right? So it does not make any difference. Even if we change the order of multiplication, we can keep the question same as it is, and we can see it 2 different ways. So 2 multiplied by 5 is 10 multiplied by 5. 1 multiplied by 5 was 5, and we carry the same 0 because there was 1 0. That means 50 is the answer. Or if we say 5 multiplied by 5 is 25 multiplied by 2. We know that 2 multiplied by 25 or 25 multiplied by 2 would still be 50. Therefore, we can say the answer does not change. Agreed? Any questions? If there are any questions, we can always discuss those. Okay. Let's do the next question, question number 8. Let's focus on the class. Let's do these questions. We are here to study and we are here to learn. Thank you so much. The next question is question number 8. And the question number 8 says, multiply 7 multiplied by 7 multiply by 10. See, we would always pick the easier way to solve a question. Okay, we have both the options over here. What we can do is we can say 7 multiplied by 7 is 49. When multiplied by 10, we know a number ending with a 0. That means 49 multiplied by 1 is 49. And we copy the 0 as it is. That means 490 is our answer. But we can always make it a little difficult for ourselves. What we can do is 7 multiplied by 10 was 70. And 7. And we know that 7 multiplied by 7 is 49. And we put a 0. So we have both the options. And you can solve with either of them, right? Whichever you feel comfortable with. You'll still get the same answer because in multiplication, the order of the numbers does not matter as long as you multiply with all the numbers. Question number 9. Question number 9 says multiply 6 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 10. No, it's not 4,900. It's 490, right? There is 1 0. Okay. Do we agree it's 490? Yes. Okay, let's see. You gave an answer 4,900. Let's change this question and let's make this. Okay. If I would say 70 multiplied by 7 multiplied by 10. I'm relating to the first question number 8. I'm referring this same question over here. Okay. So let's see what can be the answer over here. Either ways, we'll try. See, what we can do is, what is 70 multiplied by 7? That was 49. There was 1 0 over here. So we can say 490 multiply by 10. Now what we can do is we can count the number of zeros. There were 2 zeros, and when we multiply 49 by 1, that still says as 49, but now we had 2 zeros over here, so we simply put down 2 zeros. That means in this case the answer is 4,900. Okay, the second question would be 4,900 because there is an extra 0. Or we do this, 70 is multiplied by 70. We can count the number of zeros. We have 2 zeros over here. What would be 7 multiplied by 7? 7 multiplied by 7 is 49. And we can bring down the 2 zeros. That's still 4,900. Okay. So 4,900 would be in the case when it was 70 multiplied by 7 multiplied by 10. Okay. Yes, thank you. The next question we had was multiply. And the question says, let me just check on the website, which is on 6 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 10. So it says 6 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 10. Okay. So we can do either ways. We'll try both the ways. Or we will change the sequence also in it. Maybe let's suppose we say we change the sequence in this and we say this is 10 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 6. Okay, we'll see if both the answers are same or not. So 6 multiplied by 2 is 12 multiplied by 10, and we know the rule for and we do know the rule of multiplying with the number ending in 0. That would be 12 multiplied by 1 is 12, and you simply put the 0. That means 120 is your answer. Okay, thank you. Okay, how about 10 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 6? We multiply them together. That means 1 multiplied by 2 is 2, and we bring down the 0 because there is a single 0. Multiply by 6. 2 multiplied by 6 was 12, and there was 1 0. 10 for a 0 to make it a 10, that means 120 is still your answer. This is a basic topic. Further on with the next few lessons, we will move and we'll try to make this a little difficult and try to understand what exactly multiplication, what things we need to do for multiplication. Okay. The next question says multiply. Okay. Okay. Let's focus here and let's see what the next question says. 9 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 2. Or we can say 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 9 should be the same. Let's see if they are exactly the same or not. So 9 times 3 is 27 multiplied by 2. That means our answer is 54. Okay. But if we change the sequence, 2 multiplied by 3 was 6, multiplied by 9 would still come out to be 54. And that is our answer. Any questions? Okay, no questions. Let's still focus on the work. Okay. Question number 12 says, multiply 6 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 9. So if we need to multiply 6 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 9, we can do it in a different order as well, just to confirm. 6 multiplied by 5 is 30. Multiplied by 9. 3 multiplied by 9 is 27. We had a single 0. We just put the value of 0 over here. And that means 270 is our answer. Now let's suppose if we do this way. 9 times 5 is 45. Multiply by 6. That means the answer still comes out to be 270. But I would recommend the first method. I would recommend this method. Why? Because this brings a 0, and multiplying with a number ending with 0 is much more easier than multiplying two numbers. Let's suppose 30 multiplied by 9 was easier, right? 30 multiplied by 9 was easier than 6 multiplied by 45. So we would always try to find the numbers which would give us the easy way out. Okay. The next question says, okay, let's see what does the next question say. Multiply 5 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 8. We will do it both ways. So can we say that 5 multiplied by 4 is 20? Multiplied by 8, 2 multiplied by 8 was 16, and we put the 0 as it is because there was a single 0. Or if we say 4 multiplied by 8 is 32, multiplied by 5, it still stays as 160. But the easier way to do this question was the first method that we did, because we had a 0 there. So I would still recommend the first method to solve this. Okay. Do we agree? Okay. Let's look at the next question. Question number 14 says, multiply 5 multiply by 6 multiply by 3. If we need to multiply these numbers together, we can do it either ways, right? Yes, thank you. So we can do either ways. We can say 5 multiplied by 6 multiplied by 3, or we can do 6 multiplied by 3 and then by 5. So let's try the first one. 5 multiplied by 6 was 30. Multiplied by 3, we count the number of zeros. 3 multiplied by 3 is 9, and we simply put 1 0. That means 90 is the answer. But if you look at the alternate, this is 6 times 3 is 18, multiplied by 5, and 5 times 18 is still 90. But we know that the first method again was the easier method to solve the question. This method is more recommended because the outcome came out to be a number with a 0. When we multiply 5 multiplied by 6, it becomes 30. And when 30 is multiplied by 3, it's much more easier because this number is ending with a 0. That means the answer is 90. Let's try question number 15. I write down the question numbers so that it's much more convenient and easy for you to refer. Okay. Multiply 6 multiplied by 8 multiplied by 10. We had 10 multiplied by 8 multiplied by 6. Let's see if they both have the same answer. Okay. 6 times 8 is 48 multiplied by 10. And we know the rule for multiplying a number ending in 0. We count the number of zeros and we simply multiply. 48 multiplied by 1 is 48. It ends with 1 0. We put 1 0 over here. Okay. Let's see the other way around. 10 times 8 is 1 multiplied by 8 is 8. There was 1 0. We put 0 multiplied by 6. 6 times 8 is 48. There was 1 0. We put down the 1 0. And we still get the same answer. So up till now, what we have learned is that irrespective of the order of multiplication, we just need to remember that we need to multiply all the numbers. All the numbers have to be multiplied. Okay. So let's see what else we have. Let's move to the next question. Question number 16. We'll try the test questions also. We'll do the maximum number of questions from the test so that the remaining you can solve yourself. Multiply 8 multiplied by 9 multiplied by 8. Okay. Or we can write this question also as 8 multiplied by 8 multiplied by 9. What is 8 times 9? 72 multiplied by 8, right? So when we multiply 72 is multiplied by 8, we know that 8 2s are 16, we carry 1. 8 multiplied by 7 is 56, plus 1 is. So we can say the answer is 576. Or we can say 8 multiplied by 8 was 64, multiplied by 9. We can do the working. 64 is multiplied by 9. 4 times 9 is 36. And 6 times 9 was 54, plus 3 is 57. So we can still say the answer is 576. Okay. Any questions up till now? Okay, no questions. Let's move on. Okay. Let's try some more. Okay. Question number 17. Multiply 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 1. And we know that any number multiplied by 1 stays the same. So we can say this as 3 multiplied by 3 is 9, multiplied by 1 still stays the same, and 9 is your answer. Or if we change the sequence, we multiply the last two digits first. Okay, that means 3 multiplied by 1 is still 3, and it's still 3 multiplied by 3. The answer comes out to be 9. Let's see. The next question we have is, let's see who can answer this question the fastest. I'll write down multiply 2 times 7 times 5. Let's see who can answer this the fastest. So we have, I'll just do one step. So what would be the final answer for this? In both cases, the answer would come out to be the same number, right? The last question, question number 18. It says 2 multiplied by 7 multiplied by 5. Okay. So can anyone give me the answer? I changed the sequence also. 2 multiplied by 7 multiplied by 5. We can do it both ways. We can do 14 multiplied by 5, or we can do 2 multiplied by 35. We should get the same answer. So what is the answer? 14 multiplied by 5 is? Yes, thank you so much. The correct answer is 70, and that's your answer. So we can say 14 multiplied by 5 is 70. Agreed? Or we can also say that 2 multiplied by 35 would still be 70. Okay. You have both the options. Whichever option you think is much more easier for you, you can use either of them, right? Because in multiplication of numbers, the order does not matter. We will have the same answer. Thank you. No, the answer, yes, typing error, it's okay. The next question says, multiply. Let's suppose if the question was 8 multiplied by 9 multiplied by 10. Let's see, 8 multiplied by 9 multiplied by 10. So if we multiply 8 multiplied by 9, that is 72 multiplied by 10. We know the rule for this. And this would be 8 into 90. So whichever way we multiply them, we will get the same answer. So what should be the answer? 8 multiplied by 9 multiplied by 10. Okay. The answer would be 720. Thank you so much. That becomes 720 is the answer when we multiply 72 by 10, or 8 multiplied by 9 is 72, and we bring down the 0 as it is, it would still stay as 72. Okay. Moving on further to the next question. Question number 20. If I would say 8 multiplied by 10 multiplied by 12. It says 8 multiplied by 10 multiplied by 12. So if we do the first part first, it becomes 80 multiplied by 12. Or if we use the second option, it becomes 120 multiplied by 8. Either ways, we will have the same answer. Let's confirm if we have the same answer. What is 80 multiplied by 12? Okay, that's good. Very good. Can you again verify? Oh, you were giving the answer for the previous question. Yes. No, it's not 896. Let's do the multiplication over here. It's okay. We'll correct ourselves, right? So if it says 80 multiplied by 12, we can do 8 multiplied by 12 and we can add a 0 at the end, right? So 12 multiplied by 8. 8 times 2 is 16 and we carry 1. 8 times 1 is 8 plus 1 is 9. So we can say 96 and we bring down the 0. That means 960. It's okay. Very good guess. It's a close guess. So 8 multiplied by 120 should also be equal to 960 because it's exactly the same question, right? If we do it like this, 120 multiplied by 8, 0 multiplied by 8 is 0. 8 times 2 is 16. We put a 6, we carry 1. 8 times 8, 8 multiplied by 1 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So we still get the same answer, right? Thank you. Okay, now it's again an easy question. Question number 21 says, multiply 10 multiplied by 7 multiplied by 10. Or we say 10 multiplied by 10 multiplied by 7. Whichever is easier for us. 10 multiplied by 7 is 70 multiplied by 10. How many zeros can we see? We can see 2 zeros. That means 7 multiplied by 1 is 7. And we bring down the 2 zeros. 700 is our answer. Or 10 multiplied by 10 means 1 multiplied by 1 is 1. And there were 2 zeros. Multiplied by 7. 1 multiplied by 7 is 7. And we copy the 2 zeros. That's still 700. Okay. So it's your preference, your choice, whichever sequence you would use. But you need to remember that you cannot miss any number. All the numbers have to be multiplied. Okay. Let's do another. Okay, the question says, after this, we'll do a few questions from the test, okay? 10 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 5. So can we say this as 10? Can we say 10 multiplied by 5 is 1 multiplied by 5 is 5. You write the 0. 5 multiplied by 5 was 25. And you bring the 0 as it is. That means 250 is your correct answer. Let's try the other way around. What is 5 multiplied by 5? That is 25 multiplied by 10. Whenever we multiply with a number ending with 0, we just count the number of zeros and we multiply the numbers together. 25 multiplied by 1 is 25. And we simply write the 0. That means it's still the same answer if we use the second option, okay? Let's try a few questions from the test so that you would be able to complete the remaining questions. Let's try to do the maximum number of questions we can. I'll click on to test. The test is on the right-hand top corner of the page. Let's start. Okay, Just a moment, please. Okay. I'll just copy the question. I would want you to tell me which answer, this option is correct, A, B. We have two options over here. Okay. From the test, this is question number 1. And this is option A or option B. So what is the correct answer? What is the answer for 1 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 5? Okay. So the answer is option A, because this would be equal to 15. Let's go to the next question. Let's see what the answer is. Okay, we have to click on the 15. There's just 20 small questions. Please do complete these questions at home. And the maximum number we'll try to cover right now. Okay. Let's do question number 2. The second question says, multiply 6 multiplied by 8 multiplied by 10. We know that this is 48 multiplied by 10. And we know the rule. Option A and option B. So what should be the answer? A or B? In question number 2. In question number 2, what should be the option? 48 multiplied by 10. Would it be 450 or would it be 480? Yes, it would be 480. Okay, thank you. Let's try question number 3 from the test. Thank you. We click on to 480, it would show us that we have done it correctly or incorrectly. Yes, it's correct. We multiply 6 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 10. Okay, let's see what we can do in question number 3. It says 6 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 10. Easy way is 6 multiplied by 2 is 12 multiplied by 10. This is option A. Option B. What is 12 multiplied by 10? Can you give me 12 multiplied by 10 would be equal to? Yes, 120, right? That equals to 120. So we click on the option which is correct. That means option A for us is the correct answer. We click on the option, it shows it's correct, and it will move on to the next one. Okay. The next question we have is 9 multiplied by, let's see, 3 multiplied by 2. So if we have question number 4, it says 9 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 2. Option A or option B? We can do either ways. 9 multiplied by 3 is 27, multiplied by 2 is 54. Or we can do the other way around. 3 multiplied by 2 is 6, multiplied by 9 is still 54. We do this way or we do this way. We still have the same answer, right? Because in this case, I multiplied this first. In this case, I multiplied 3 and 2. So our answer still is the same. That means 54 is the correct answer, correct option. So we click on 54. Okay. Let's do one more. Okay. Let's see who can answer this first. The question number 5 states that multiply 2 multiplied by 7 multiplied by 5. And the two options are A and B. And this is question number 5. Let's see who can answer first. Okay, very good. What about the last question? 2 multiplied by 7 multiplied by. So the easiest way to do this question is you multiply 2 by 5. This becomes 10. And this was 7. So we know that 7 multiplied by 10 is, yes, your answer is correct. Thank you. Option B is the correct option. So we click on this option on the screen. Okay. Very few questions are left. Just we have done almost half the questions. We have done it. A few are remaining. So just please try those questions. It's okay. It's okay if your answer is correct, right? So that's good. B, please practice the remaining questions. Okay. And best of luck. You take care. Have a nice day. Take care.